Hey everybody, how's it going? So, I always liked redstone repeaters. They can extend your redstone signal for you. But the thing is, if you look at this right here, they're pretty slow. I mean, it takes a while for this piston to get powered. So I thought, what if these redstone repeaters could be instant? Oh, what is this right here? Break the game? I wonder what this does. Oh look, this piston gets immediately powered by all these repeaters now. That's pretty cool. And how about breaking Bedrock? I wonder if we broke the game, what placing this dragon egg right here will do. Look at that! It immediately replaced this Bedrock right here. Yeah, and we didn't even need to use any lazy chunks for that. That's pretty interesting. How about placing this red sand right here? Oh, it immediately turns it into regular sand. That's pretty interesting as well. Also, if the game is broken now, what about generating infinite iron golems? I wonder what depowering this piston will do right here. Oh, look at that! We spawned an iron golem here, but yeah, we still have these 4 iron blocks. That's pretty cool, I would say. So what about liquid source blocks? I wonder what powering this dispenser will do. Oh, look at that! This source block immediately spread out everywhere, and look, we also have a duplicated source block. That's pretty cool as well. So I wonder what setting this tree on fire is going to do. Let's give it a shot. Wow, that's pretty fast, I would say. And also, just so you know, I don't think we have any cheats on for that right now either. So I wonder how that's possible. That's pretty interesting. And yeah, I would say, last but not least, what about duplicating items? I would say that might be pretty cool as well. We have this 1 diamond block here. Let's power this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we have 2 diamond blocks in here. So yeah, I think my Minecraft research career might have reached a peak at this point, because I don't know if I'm gonna ever find anything that's cooler than this right here. Yeah, so I basically figured out a method to make it so all tile ticks in the world that get scheduled are processed immediately. So literally on a block update, any tile tick that would have been scheduled for a couple ticks later, it's instead executed absolutely immediately. So that is pretty much what makes all of what I just showed you possible. And yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So first off, this is pretty much all due to singularly flowing water sources that are placed upon world population. So if we fly over here down all of these many rails, many powered rails, once we finally reach the end here, you will see that we have a water source block right here. And yeah, when I hit that switch over there, I depowered all these rails, and yeah, we triggered the population of a chunk right here. And in turn, that made this water source block generate, and that in turn updated these budded rails, and this updated many rails, as you can see. And basically exactly the same as with update suppression, this caused a stack overflow. And yeah, you might wonder, why would that possibly do what I just showed you over there? How could something so strange as this lead to stuff like that being possible? So yeah, for that we have to do a little bit of analysis of some game code actually. And yeah, so there's actually, with these singularly generated flowing source blocks that get placed on world population, there's actually a special tag that gets set. When this is placed, these blocks are placed by a specific generator class called World Gen Liquids, and after this block gets placed, a method called immediate block tick gets called. And when an immediate block tick gets called, here I'm going to show you something right now. This is actually a little snapshot of the method in the code. This gets called when this gets generated right here. And you can see this tag called scheduled updates are immediate gets set to true. And yeah, the update tick is called. So this is essentially supposed to make it so these source blocks that get placed will get ticked and be able to start flowing, as you see here. You don't really want like a non-updated source block because that wouldn't really make sense. So this was kind of their Mojang's approach to it, I guess. But yeah, this tag that gets set, scheduled updates are immediate, it's pretty much like a global tag actually. And yeah, so what if we were able to keep that true all the time? And so yeah, it turns out this is actually what I did. As you can see, that update tick gets called. When that gets called, this flows out. This updates this rail, which in turn updates all of these many rails and causes a stack overflow, and basically will prematurely terminate code execution. And yeah, this the schedule updates our immediate tag will never be able to be set back to false. So as long as we don't populate another chunk that places another one of these source blocks, it's pretty much never going to be set to false again. So it's literally just kind of like altering the state of the world, and it can just stay that way. So like when I figured this out, I was kind of like pretty much blown away that this was something like this is possible. So yeah, I'm assuming probably some of you will as well. So yeah, guess I'm gonna go back now and maybe explore a little bit some of the things I just showed off. So yeah, like I showed you, these repeaters, as the scheduled updates our immediate tag is triggered. Whenever an update is scheduled, it literally just won't schedule it for a couple ticks later. It'll just execute it immediately. So yeah, it'll just immediately power the next repeater, which will immediately power the next repeater and the next, and then power this piston. And yeah, it happens in the exact same game tick. Yeah, so if we move on next to here to this bedrock breaking trick, this is actually something slightly different. So well, when the block gets placed, you can see it basically instantaneously teleports down. The instantaneous execution of the tile tick, of course, is because of this scheduled updates are immediate. But as you can see, this behavior is the same as basically when a falling block tries to fall in a lazy chunk. So why does this happen? So this is actually a similar thing, but it's kind of like the scheduled updates are immediate tag, but yeah, it's actually a different tag that's called fall instantly. And this fall instantly tag will get set to true whenever a new chunk tries to get populated. So yeah, if we like terminate code execution before it gets reset to false, which it does at the end of the chunk population, that will also just stay on forever. So yeah, we pretty much will get the same behavior as in lazy chunks with this. As you can see, this is also a behavior that happens in lazy chunk. So yeah, and I also wanted to mention that this fall instantly tag can actually, like these two tags don't have to be set together by themselves. Like you could have one set and not the other. For example, if I were to just populate some random chunk that didn't place a new flowing source block, that tag could be reset, the fall instantly tag. Or if you set well, you could have just the fall instantly tag set as well if you populate a chunk and then terminate code execution in the middle of that, but you weren't in the middle of doing an immediate block tick. So yeah, I guess moving on next here, we have this iron golem duping setup. So this is possible because this dispenser can perform an immediate block tick. We had this powered rail right here next to this dispenser that was moved that caused a block update, and this dispenser was butted, so it generated an iron golem, and it deleted those iron blocks here. But since the piston had already started retracting, it saved those block states, and we get to dupe these iron blocks. Yeah, I think this, like a trick like this, I'm pretty sure test 137E29 showed a trick like this off a long time ago. So this stuff like this actually used to be possible in older updates as well. And yeah, with this trick, it's actually possible again, which is pretty interesting. Something I didn't show before is different kinds of tile ticks. So here I have a button, and yeah, you can see I press this, it literally just immediately unpresses it. If we have some redstone next to it, you can see it literally just doesn't power the redstone. If we step on this pressure plate right here, it just stays pressed forever and it won't become unpressed. Yeah, so observers as well, kind of interesting. They will provide a blocked update, as you can see, but they pretty much will immediately turn themselves off like right afterwards. So yeah, if I just have like a piston right here, you see this doesn't get powered, even though the observer should be, providing power to it, but that doesn't happen. So yeah, moving on next to these source blocks. Source block flow is another tile tick as well. If I can remove this here, you can see it also totally removes it immediately. Yeah, you can see it spreads out immediately. You may wonder why this source block gets duplicated, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. Well, actually in just a second or so. Yeah, burning, of course, like fire spreading, schedules tile ticks, but what if they just happen immediately? You could burn stuff down at lightning speed. So yeah, even with it's like no random tick speed was messed with this at all. It's just that these tile ticks that are scheduled, they just execute immediately. So yeah, and yeah, of course, probably all of you care most about this. We have the item duplication. Yes, so again, I'll show it one more time. We have one item in here, nothing in here. We power this dropper. All right, we power it, and yeah, we have 2 diamond blocks for the price of 1, infinite items. So yeah, you can see this dropper is putting things in another dropper here. But again, we make use of these immediate tile ticks. So when this gets powered, it will place an item in here, but it'll also, it'll schedule a tile tick, but of course, as we know, it literally just gets executed immediately. So an item gets placed in here, and it also gets placed in there before an item is removed from here. And yeah, also before this, like there's a state that gets set for this dropper, like the powered state. It's also before the state that says that this dropper is powered gets set as well. So we put an item in here, and yeah, of course, comparator is also a tile tick. It immediately sees that there's an item in here. It immediately turns on, which in turn immediately turns this repeater on, which in turn immediately provides a block, powers this redstone dust and provides a block update to this. And this dropper still has an item in it because it didn't get deleted yet, and it's also not in a powered state yet. So it realizes I'm in a powered state, I have a block in me, or I have an item in me, and I need to dispense. So it just dispenses it again, and yeah, we have 2 items in here. And yeah, one more thing I didn't mention before, but yeah, you could pretty easily crash the game with this if you actually cared about that for some reason. So if I turn this lever on and push this piston, that would turn on this comparator clock, and that would crash the game. But I'm not gonna. I'll leave that to you guys. I'll give you this download, and you can try it out if you want. So yeah, this is, I'm sure, quite a lot to try and understand at once. But yeah, it's when I figured this out, I was kind of like totally blown away. I thought this is kind of like extremely cool, probably like the coolest thing that I've ever found before, actually. So yeah, hopefully you guys think so too. Maybe I'm assuming there's probably more things you could probably do with this that I just haven't discovered yet. If maybe some of you guys would be willing to help me out and try and find some more, explore and find some more stuff you could do with these instant tile ticks. If you do find anything, be sure to leave a comment, let me know. Definitely be interested in checking that kind of stuff out. So yeah, also I want to mention this does not work in 1.13 or 1.14. It seems this immediate block tick type tag, or this like the scheduled updates are immediate thing, isn't really existent. So this isn't really possible, or I can't really see any way this would be possible. In those versions. But yeah, so let me know what you think of this. I think it's pretty awesome. That's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. Yep. Okay, bye everybody.